Hey gang, John Baccarelli here with your Lake St. Clair Fishing Report brought to you by Sportsmen's Direct. It is Tuesday, October 3rd. That's right, I said Tuesday. Normally we do this much later in the week, but we've got a major weather change coming later this week, and I wanted to get this report done in time for you guys so that if you're really wanting to chase perch, you can get out and do it tomorrow while you can before the big change comes. But it is going to be a big change. It looks like starting maybe Wednesday afternoon through Thursday, and then I'm not sure what that forecast is going to do going into the weekend. The temperature's going to drop a lot, so I know it's going to blow. The question is, how long is it going to blow? So looking at these forecasts like this, it's kind of hard to tell sometimes, how well they're going to nail it after the next 48 hours or so. But anyways, the weather tomorrow should be really good in the morning, and based on all the phone calls we've been getting, I know a lot of you guys are planning on going out, and for good reason. Because we didn't do a report last week, and we had lousy weather in the beginning of the week, and it really didn't turn nice until really late in the week, and then you guys went out and you just started hammering the perch. So the end of last week, like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then up until today, the perch bite has just been on fire out there on the lake. And if you're on social media, especially like on Facebook, I know you're seeing lots of pictures of limits of jumbos. And that's because there have been limits of jumbos. And they've been coming from all over the lake. So it's mostly down in that south shore, but we've had reports literally all over the lake. If you look at this map, the areas I've got circled are places that I got reports of limits of very, very big perch. Okay, so if you're going out tomorrow, you got a lot of options, and you're not going to be alone because we got a lot of phone calls. And yes, we do have emerald shiners in the store right now. And that's been another reason for all the phone calls, because I know that's been a big deal. And these are pretty big emeralds. And there's some big spot tails mixed in there too. So they're really nice looking bait. And guys have been catching a lot of fish on those too now. So anyways, that's the perch bite, right? So a lot of options. Get out there tomorrow if you can, before these winds pick up and this bad weather comes in. Later this week, I even saw reports that they're calling for maybe on Thursday going into Friday, maybe even water spouts. I don't know how they can forecast that, but that's what was actually on the NOAA weather report that I looked at, along with the winds and all that kind of stuff. So anyways, tomorrow's going to be should be a really good day, and then maybe the first half of the day after, but it's hard to tell that. So anyways, also getting reports of walleye now, and walleye up in the middle channel now. And then also, I know Jerry Toner posted out there that she got them down in the Detroit River, which ought to make a lot of you guys really happy, that there's a bite going down there now. So you got options up on the north end and on the south end. And as I talked about last week, the shore guys are starting to pick up walleyes too along the shoreline. And hint, hint, when we get those north winds and it gets really nasty, sometimes those shore spots get really good for the guys that are willing to go down there and brave fishing on those points and stuff. When we get these cold fronts coming in on these north blows, if you can fish that leeward side, as the wind breaks around these different points, and fish that area, if you can imagine where that current breaks around, it'll stack those bait fish up there. That water gets really dirty, you get all that movement, and walleyes sometimes will come in and feast. I've had some really good nights, some actually exceptional nights, casting from shore under those conditions, and sometimes you'll be the only one down there because the weather is horrible, and so everybody else stays at home with the rain and the wind and sleet and sometimes snow. But anyways, the fishing can be really good, and you can have it all to yourself. So anyways, that's my little tidbit there for you with this bad weather coming in and these north winds that I know we're going to get if it's going to drop 25 degrees. Mike Martin was out there again. Mike and I work a lot together on sharing information and stuff, and he was out there and he got some great pictures with Jax, who I think maybe Jax is going to be, I don't know, he's going to be a captain someday for sure. I'm not sure if he's a first mate right now, but he was showing Mike how it's really done, doubling up on some of these big perch out there. So this is a great time for you guys if you've got kids, if you've got people that just, really, if you want to get them started into fishing, perch fishing is a great way. It's generally pretty easy when the perch bite is on. Fishing with perch rigs over the side with minnows is just a great way to get people hooked, and especially to get kids hooked. And it's a great table fare too. So I guess I kind of circled back around to perch, but I'd almost forgotten about Mike going out there with jacks, and I wanted to mention that for sure because he just took some great pictures out there. So, and I know Rob Hoover was out there taking pictures too, running around out there getting limits a big perch out there as well. So I got a lot of, like I said, we had a lot of reports this week from a lot of different places on great catches of fish out there. Now, the other thing that's been going on it's just amazing is the numbers of sturgeon that are coming out of the St. Clair River. And now the big deal, it used to be, the guys would just go out and they'd catch one or two, but now I'm starting to see so many reports of guys doubling up at one time. And I know Garrett Samsel was out there and they got a two-bagger. They got two at one time. I know Michael Downey of Relentless Grind, I know he posted a picture. They got doubles out there with big fish. So it's becoming more and more common, kind of like running, trolling for salmon when you get doubles on. But the pandemonium when you get two big fish on in a boat at one time, especially in the river, in the current, and maybe at night, I mean, that's just crazy. What a blast, huh? So anyways, if you haven't had a chance to get out and take advantage of the sturgeon fishery that we have, it really is kind of a one-of-a-kind gem, and it's just amazing, and let alone getting a double on at one time out there. So anyways, just awesome fishery. And the other thing, you never know when you're out there, when you're fishing on the bottom like that, you get some catfish, you get sheephead, and occasionally you get a monster cat like the one Garrett Samsel got out there, and he did not get a weight on this fish, but man, that thing sure looks like it's over 20. And if a catfish can be beautiful, this catfish is really beautiful. Just look how thick that thing is, all the way down to the tail. I mean, just a beautiful specimen. I've never caught one that big. I've caught some pretty big ones, but never one that big. And for Michigan, that is really a trophy catfish, and it's back out and swimming around for somebody else to catch right now. Smallmouth bass. A lot of these bass fishermen are being pretty tight-lipped out there right now. I do know that there were a couple of 7-pound fish caught over this last weekend by some folks that came into the store, and I did see pictures. I mean, these were some gorgeous fish. Not seeing crazy numbers of fish, but we are seeing really big fish coming to the boat. So, the water temp's going to drop a whole lot going into next week with this big cold front we got coming in. I'm expecting that's going to pull some of these fish that are still out deeper, bring them in a little tighter, and we're going to get a lot more of the closer to shore action, that shallower water action, more similar to what you get in the spring. But right now it seems like a lot of that bass fishing action is still out relatively deep. It's still out there a little ways. So the real shoreline stuff hasn't really gone crazy yet. And that water temperature sitting at 68 degrees right now, pretty much it flatlined. It had gone down, and actually it's come back up a couple of degrees in the last week. So I'm sure that's affected it a little bit. Let's see, trying to remember if I got anything else right now. Crocker Road boat launch update. I've been driving in there pretty regular, talking with the contractors. They did not have the dike pulled yet, but they were definitely ready to start putting in all the asphalt, and after that, obviously striping. But I think that's the next thing. All of that topsoil and all that dredging material has been moved out of there now, and they're in final preparation for putting down that blacktop. It sounds like we are still on track for the end of the month. That's what they assure me. And as long as the weather behaves itself and doesn't do anything crazy, I think that shouldn't be any trouble with those guys getting that done by then. If you are looking for an e-bike, a lot of you folks that have been into our store in the last couple of weeks see that I have those Derwin e-bikes in there. They are on sale right now for a price that I can't even talk about online or I'll get in trouble. So if you're in the market for an e-bike, these are a great bike. And it's an unbelievably good price for these bikes. So if you're interested in one, swing by the shop and we can hook you up. With that said, I'm going to keep this relatively short so you guys can get to bed and then get up early and get out there and get all of those perch before this weather changes and moves everything around on us again. So we'll see you in the shop tomorrow. Hey gang, if you like our content, Hit the little subscribe button and the bell icon, and you'll be notified as soon as we put out new stuff.